Theorists Theorizing special podcast crossover substitute host edition. I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm not Braden.
It's not Braden. Or is it?
Well, he's been replaced. We replaced him. He wanted too much money.
Yeah,
there is no replacing him.
We had to cut that fucker. No, we got.
Yeah, he's gone.
This week we got Brent Hand of Hysteria 51.
Oh, thank you. Hold the applause. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on. We've done some swaps and stuff, but this is nice. Just staring into your eyes.
He's recording live from his fucking laundry room.
I sure am. Just drinking in all that extra skin on Dan right now. Like, you know, just that beardless Dan.
He's dedicated to the skin chin life.
I don't like to use the word turgid, but it fits right now. You know what I mean?
He does look good, doesn't he?
He does.
It does.
He does. Thank you guys for having me.
Dude.
You might change your mind after this.
It's been too long.
I haven't seen you guys. Well, I mean, we talk here and there, but I haven't seen you since Alien Con.
Like Alien
2019.
2019, then that...
The world was then
that word you can't mention on YouTube or you get banned, then that happened, and then kids, and then here we are. Boom.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So if people don't know who the mighty Brent Hand is and the show Hysteria 51, give the people a little background. I know you guys guys started briefly after us, but pretty much.
We started 2016, not too long after you guys, and we do the World of the Weird. Every week we pick topics and you know, it's dick and fart jokes about aliens and the occult. You know, we don't do too much. We do a lot of research. We've had a lot of guests on, and we're coming up on. We've been 8 years now. I think you guys are at 9. Are you somewhere in there? So
we started like October 2015.
Yeah.
So
Before Zell told me that you guys started before I did, I was like, wait. I was like, no, I remember listening to you guys like when we started, and I was like, it was like, you know, I remember listening like early days, and I was like, I always enjoyed listening to Hysteria.
I remember you guys were literally one of the first. I reached out to you guys. One of your first episodes, you're like, let's get some ideas, and I sent you Betty and Barney Hill, and I don't even think I got a reply. So that tracks. That
we were pretty big time back there, Brent. Like that was weird. You know, listen, we had no time for the
freaking guy.
You know. So tell us how we inspired you. Let's hear all about it.
Man, I heard you guys. I'm like, fuck if they can do it.
If they can do it, anyone can do it.
But that's back when we were recording in our Ginch, drinking Octavia vodka.
That's like 3/4 of the paranormal podcast out there. They heard like, hey, if these dummies can do it, like.
No, it was awesome. And we started talking, and I never forget. You guys had David Weiss on, and we'd already booked him. Like he was coming on, and I don't listen to a lot. Back I used to, but I don't anymore listen to a lot of the podcasts in our circle because I don't want like drift over or jokes or something, you know, because it's easy to do. I listened to that one, and I thought, oh my God, what have I got myself into? You know, I remember listening to that, and I was like, oh Jesus, man. I blame you. Is what we're getting at.
Yeah, that was way back. That was like. I think it was like case file like 40 or something for us.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Because we did the first Flat Earthers in studio, which we were kind of scared for our lives, actually, a little bit.
There's like 2 randos in there. Like,
just random dudes from
guys
just down
you picked
the road.
up off the side. Yeah, you picked up the side of the street.
A couple of fucking neck tattoos is what it was.
We should just invite
sit next to those guys.
We should invite these random dudes to the studio at my rental house in the garage, and then to sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah, let them know where we live.
You're gonna crap when they're 2 hours in, and you're about 12 beers deep, and you're like, they're starting to make sense, man. I don't know.
You know what's funny about? So there was those 2 guys. I don't remember their names, but we were playing a show, my band in Penticton at the ski hill, Apex Mountain. And this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, do you have a podcast?" Like, yeah. Like no one ever recognizes me locally. Like no one really knows the show locally. I was like, "Yeah, man. Like I do." He's like, "Is it Alien Theorists Theorizing?" Like, yeah. He's like, "Hey, I came to your studio a bunch of years ago talking about flat Earth."
Then he shivved you in the gut.
He's like, "You guys weren't very nice about it." He was mad, and he said,
"You should be like, oh no, that's the other podcast. Like, I have nothing to do with that one."
He caught me off guard. He baited me with every question, make sure I was the guy.
It was you.
Yeah. It was me. And then he's like, "Yeah, you're supposed to have me back on so we could explain ourselves again. You never did. You just talk shit about us." I'm like, "Oh shit, man! Like, Did you find
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, you should have been like, well, you shouldn't have made it so easy. So I don't know.
Then I asked him, so did you find the truth? Did you find how they're hiding God? Because I was pretty drunk because it was after the show. I was going to get in a fight with this guy. And he fucking lost me. No one ever understands what I'm talking about. It's all a fucking sham, man. It's all
You
a
sound
sham.
like my therapist. Yeah.
I was like, and then the whole band was like, who the fuck was that guy? I was like,
He's just like,
the Flat Earth Hub.
A real truth seeker.
So anyway, look at my back tattoo, ATT. Man, our tagline is the truth is out there, but you won't find it here. And I think that works for all of our shows, and the flat earthers are their own animal. We had an astrophysicist on, and I just loved that they would just look him in the eye and be like, you fucking chill. You're either part of the problem or just an idiot. I'm like, that is gall, man. Good on you. Good on you.
I think it's flat Earth has always been. I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of lost some of its appeal over the.
It was. I think it was the time when a lot of people online, I think, were making fun of it and saying they believed it just because.
Well, they took a big hit with that documentary when that Behind the Curve came out, and
that guy. The guy at the end, at the end who proves it lifted up higher, and then they see light. He was on our show as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that guy,
has he done any ones after that?
Probably
What's
not,
he been
right?
up to after?
Crying, I think.
After he had his entire
proved the
worldview
earth is-
shattered by himself.
Yeah, that's right. He goes, interesting.
Yeah. It's like, we did science. And it was like, it's a pretty good experience. That's a good experience.
That's where it goes.
Yeah, so did that guy that strapped himself to the fucking rocket.
Mad Mike.
He did science. Yeah, Mad Mike.
Mad Mike, baby.
Rest in
Not
peace.
science. That was not science.
He's gone.
Let me strap myself to a compressed air propelled rocket with very minimal safety gear.
Man, yeah.
And then hopefully I don't pass out and just crash into the ground, which, sorry.
He did.
Mad Mike. And
That's some Acme Coyote stuff right there.
I remember
For real.
100%.
I remember when the first one happened with Mad Mike and it didn't work. And then we're like, that guy's probably going to die one day.
You're telling me this guy's rocket didn't go up so we could prove the Earth was flat? I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
He tried to get up about 800 feet to prove that you couldn't see the curvature.
I think he was shot down.
Honestly,
They're trying to hide the truth. They're trying to hide the truth.
The flat Earth stuff, though, because I've lingered a little long on some Instagram feeds, so I get a lot of flat Earth. And it's actually evolved to a theory which I like way better, which is there's the disc Earth, like the flat Earth with the ice wall, sure. But beyond the ice wall, it's like every mythical land is real. Like Agartha is out there, and like they have like all these fucking like fantasy
Have you
worlds.
seen the
Middle Earth,
the map at the UN that shows all the other they have all these things they talk about, and
So I like that. I mean, as a theory, as like a fun theory, that one's way better. It's like, well, they're the aliens come from beyond the ice wall. They're just fucking Agarthians, and they're checking in on us. There is no outer space. That's way better. It's an endless plane, and all the fictional worlds that we've created as humanity have actually been like sprinkled
I feel
to
like
us.
that's just a rehash.
You guys should
Viking
write about this.
All the realms are connected. Like, we can go to Midgard. And,
You start at Asgard, you get down to
Svartheim.
Midgard,
Yeah, we can go.
you can get anywhere but through the firmament. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
See, you guys are like never having back on. Immediately just went to flat Earth and just destroyed everything.
Flat Earth rules. We're gonna do Flat Earth 3.
Are we?
No, we're
That's
not.
news
No,
to
no, no.
If they can do Sharknado 6 or whatever, you can do flat Earth 3. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Dude, I saw that. I think Sharknado, the Sharknado phenomenon is done, but I did see one that was like a sequel, and it was like Sharknado, Heart of Sharkness, which I thought was a funny name. I thought it was a pretty good
Heart
name.
of Sharkness.
Heart of Sharkness. I thought that was
that's
pretty
good.
It's a very terrible sequel to it.
I've never seen any Sharknadoes, but I picture the
I think
exact
1 through
movie.
3 were okay, kind of nuts, but
Ian Ziering just doing his best.
yeah.
So Brent, what happened? Because I never really talked to, because it was you and your buddy John started the show.
John, yeah. So
happened
John
there?
was on for like the first 6 years. So John worked in podcasting. So John is the CFO of a company called Magellan AI. They do advertising for podcasting, and he had worked all over the place in terrestrial radio and then podcasting. And he took on this sea level position, and there's a lot more travel. And he's like, I just can't do the show anymore. Right. And so he kind of was on sporadically trying to fill in. And then there was blurry photos with David Flora, and he was actually local at the time. And I said, hey, John's leaving. Do you want to come on? And he's like, sure, because you're local. And then he immediately moved to Colorado. but yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Doing it remote is easy, as you guys know. But and then that's been I think coming up on 2.5 years. So
it's easy, but it's not as good.
Yeah. It's not as good.
You don't miss the in-studio.
Right.
Yeah, I miss it.
We get more banter back and forth and the silliness, I think, when we're in person. But
the laughs.
I've been doing it for so long, it's just, secondhand now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we've been doing it. I think we only did 10 episodes together, and then it's been virtual ever since.
But yeah, everyone's like, what happened? Did you guys... Everyone makes up stories, and I heard you guys got in a fight and all this stuff.
Yeah, fist fight in Waffle House.
Yeah. He pops up every once in a while. I was talking about, I was making fun of him today. But, it's just, it became too much of a, I don't want to say burden, but it's a lot of time because this is all I do. This is my job. This is my full-time job. Now I do have a studio that I we rent time and I do editing and stuff like that. And he was just doing that on top of his other thing. And it's just like, I don't have time to put in 20 hours, let alone 40 hours extra a week. And he had 2 kids, and his wife kind of said, make a choice. And I made googly eyes at him. He said, I can't do it.
Yeah, because
what are you talking about?
You had Fourth Hand Studios, right? Fourth Hand Studios.
Yeah.
So you're moving that down because you're
moving to
Tennessee?
Just outside. We're going to be in Kingston Springs, which is just outside of Nashville. So, I thought to myself, what does Nashville need? Another freaking studio. So it's going to be perfect. But we don't do music. It's just spoken word, voiceover. I do a lot of editing outside of just there, but I got all the, I got the room, I got the equipment. It's just sitting there. Might as well make some money off of it.
For sure. Yeah.
Or at least tell my wife I am.
Podcast studios in Nashville. It's all.
There's not as many. And so I was in Chicago, and there's 3 podcast studios that I knew of for sure. And the second one had moved into the same building I was in. So I think I was like, that's about time to, I was like, what a wonderful, wonderful. Hey, if you don't like me, go upstairs. One of those deals.
What's the paranormal scene like in Nashville? You know yet?
I don't even know very well. I don't know the podcasting. So they do a lot of ghost tours and stuff like that here.
Sure.
And there's a whole lot of people seeing Starlink and swearing it's aliens. So
okay.
That's about as far as I've got.
Same as everywhere.
That's the top right now. Yeah.
It's like there's ghost tours everywhere. Like,
you're right.
You want to drive up your property prices, get a ghost tour.
And it's haunted, right? Yeah. There's a lot of that. I'm coming from Chicago, which is just urban sprawl. There's 9-10 million people, and you don't realize when you're from one town to the other. The nice thing about Nashville is you're in there, and then you go out into the country. Like, it's not just on top of one another. You got to drive to go to another town, and so there's all these.
Be honest, you moved for the weather. You got sick of the Chicago winter. You said, "Fuck
the
that."
winter." The summers are the same. Chicago's disgusting. The winters are terrible. That is literally that was the big. We wanted to go somewhere warmer, but not be in Florida or something like that. And they got like 2 inches of snow last year, and everyone panicked and they shut everything down.
Shut it all down.
That's like,
if you're in fucking Florida, you're gonna have iguanas, frozen iguanas falling on your head and
shit.
Like,
like drop iguanas, just smack, and no thanks.
But you have anacondas now.
They've had anacondas for a while. The
terrifying.
pythons out there,
Rock
pythons and all that stuff.
Dude, they have alligators and crocodiles.
Even worse, they got Florida Man.
Which is it's all over.
That's true.
Dude, isn't there like 95% of the Everglade, like medium-sized wildlife is gone now?
So like I think it was 94 when that big storm came through and it flooded out that reptile place. And it's just all these animals that need hot, humid, moist climate were then dumped into the Everglades and are just taking over. Yeah. I mean, so you got these giant, I know the anacondas, I think the rock pythons and stuff are just as big, and more aggressive. It's kind of crazy. So they let you kill them like down there. They give you money for each one you bring in.
Bag limit. You can just blast them.
Just a bunch of dudes in no shirts going, and you're shooting everything they see, and they're real safe and Florida like.
I'm here for it.
Now, I heard that there was Nile crocodiles. Is that just a rumor?
It's crazy.
I don't know, but we went to I was just in South Carolina. We went to a golf course. It was the first time I saw a gator, just giant gator came out of the water, like right by us. Like, holy shit. And they're like, that's Betty.
Yeah. Hit a par four, and just went back in the lane.
Don't go near Chubbs.
That's the course's fucking mascot.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Different
terrifying.
world.
It's fucking
And
terrifying. It's a
I got
dinosaur.
armadillos in my yard now. I've never seen those before either.
Oh.
An armadillo?
Oh, those are cool.
They carry leprosy.
Do they?
That's what I heard.
Fuck, why was I kissing it? Now I feel stupid.
Nah.
This one's friendly.
Look at this. I think that's the one. I think they're one of the few that do. It's rare, but I think you're okay.
You're gonna get emails.
As long as you didn't kiss it with tongue, you should be okay.
Oh well, still the same now.
Yeah, don't give it a smoochy kiss.
Yeah,
Close mouth.
It tastes like a peanut.
So Brent, what are your thoughts on aliens? You believe? You seen?
I do, and I tell you what, I tell the people this. When I started years ago, I think I believed in a lot more than I do now, but I've kind of come to the middle. And when I started with John, he believed in nothing, and I've kind of met somewhere. I find myself believing more in people. What they say, you talk to someone, you're like, I think this person. I hate to use this term, but I use a lot. They believe what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there's a lot of grifters out there, unfortunately, that just try to make a buck off of it, and that's why I like these smaller one-offs, doing these dives into saintits, those people that saw something. I think it's fun, and it's fun to tell their stories. I don't like I'm going to get in trouble here, the Bob Lazars of the world, that I feel are taking people for a ride or trying to make a buck off of stuff. But I absolutely believe there is absolutely no way that we are alone. Now, does that mean that they're here and probing us and crap like that?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Are they here?
Roll your
probing us?
dice. I was told by someone in the military who went off record, so I'll tell you guys off of the camera. And he said, "You want to know the scariest thing is now I don't know if this is true or not, but he said we don't know what it is."
Just something.
And that is the scariest thing for me. And I think about that all the time. What if the government really doesn't know? That's terrifying to me.
They're just like trying to protect everyone.
We don't know
from
what
something
that
they
is.
just don't know what it is. They can't tell
Isn't
you
that
because
crazy?
they don't know.
You know?
But there's something. They know there's something. Like, is that thing sinister?
How is there not something in our
Oh, you just unlocked a whole new fucking fear for me.
right?
That's
Like,
way
seriously,
scarier.
It is to me too.
Oh
like,
my God.
what if the government is saying like they're covering it up, but they're covering up because they don't know what it is. They haven't made contact.
Fuck.
They can't.
Yeah, there's no contact to be made. It's some extra dimensional entity,
And they're just messing with us.
or it's
just
like
messing
something.
with us.
Like all they
Some
know is it's like
ancient.
It's not. Yeah, it's an ancient evil.
It's an ancient evil.
Ancient evil.
Been
Been
more
It's just they're
awakened.
passing through. They just happen to be here. Like, they're
just-
surveying us for the next like intergalactic highway, and they're just gonna give us that
it's a
Hitchhikers to the Galaxy.
Hitchhikers, bring your towel, and we're making it.
They're giving us the
we gotta
15-minute notice. Your planet is in the way of the Spaceway Development Project. You
had
will be
time to
annihilated in
appeal.
15
Yeah.
minutes. Goodbye.
No, they're just trying to build up our electrical grid to the point where they can charge their fucking ships. They need that much power. Yeah, they need that much power. So they're dropping these new technologies, the solar, all this, and eventually
I just don't think that there's
why we need to build
been
some more pyramids.
There you go.
they're not high power. Pyramids are low current. Dan, didn't you know that? It just
man.
does like light bulbs.
It's all about
and,
ley
like-
lines, Dan. I
Yeah.
can't believe you.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
They can't power interdimensional spaceships. Okay,
Oh, okay.
they can just power fucking Baghdad batteries
Yeah.
and
got it.
whatever else.
I got a pamphlet
A
if you'd
whole
like to read
pyramid
it.
for a Baghdad battery. Those things put out like 9 volts.
Yeah, but 9 volts times like 1 million people. That's a lot of fucking batteries.
I know you put your tongue on a 9-volt battery, you get a little shock. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's gonna have me
There's just
seeing
been too
visions of
many
Horus.
too many people that have seen the same things to, too many credible people out there for all of it to be fake. And the problem is, and it's something we do and we have fun with it, but I think it is important, is weeding through it, or at least telling people, hey, these are the stories. These are what people have actually said. Now we have fun when we do it, but I think that I think it's funny. A lot of people that are in what we do, they're like, oh, you guys talk about the same stories that other people have done to death. Well, the average person hasn't heard them because they don't read the same Angel Fire websites with yellow writing on black starred backgrounds that we do and crap like that.
Digging through the Internet Archive for
the Wayback Machine and me have a very serious relationship. And so that's kind of fun, you know, to tell people out there, and they're like, I didn't know about that, or maybe they did, and just get a different look at it, you know, and keep this stuff in the people's eyes and the mind, because at least right now, I think you can say on the news something about aliens and they don't laugh like they used to. Remember when they talk about it, and now they come out and they're like, there might be aliens.
What was it, the mayor of Phoenix, when he came out had like the fucking big alien head?
Yeah, just Phoenix joked. Yeah.
Well, News Nation has like Ross Coulthard on like at least like every other week. He's always out there. Like they always have him out on some segment real quick about like UFOs and stuff, but he's always out there. Putting a thing. I feel like News Nation, because they were the guys who broke the Grush stuff when Grush was going out doing his before his like big committee hearings, like when he started whistleblowing. I know News Nation was still relatively new as a news network, but they have now, they're kind of like the UFO station for me. I'm like, oh yeah, they always have stuff on there, and
they let people talk and they take it seriously, or at least give them the pulpit, so to speak, to talk and not just snicker at them like so many places do.
Yeah, so it's like the topic of UFOs are still there, but you know it with it being more in the forefront of, you know, the consciousness, it's like it's also there's more scrutiny now. I feel like there's more burden of proof for a lot of the stuff to be like, it has to be solid through. It used to be like things like, what was it? Like the Las Vegas, remember the Las Vegas, like that, what was that last year? Was that last year or 2 years ago? The Las Vegas one where everybody was like, oh, there's like a giant spaceship in the sky. And it was like Sapphire Strip Club. Like,
they're like, we saw aliens and all. Yeah. Right. Like people see one thing and then they run with, I was there. You know, now at least. And what I found too is when you come up with something, or people come forward, like I made the joke about Starlink earlier, but like, you know, they see Starlink and you tell them, no, that's just something mundane. People get upset.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a personal experience and what you saw.
Yeah, what do you know?
Yeah.
Right. You know, like what you saw, your brain fills in you ever be like, was that a cam? No, that's a box on the side of the road. You know, like, so that's how your brain works. But then when you go, no, it was a box, people get angry. You know, sometimes.
I know what I've seen.
We had, so when I was young, I was 20, 21 years old. I was at a buddy's house. He had a pool. It's the middle of the night and it's pitch dark. We're in the country on a farm. And I see this thing come across the sky real low, like over the house, just booking. And it's going boom, 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 boom. And it's this line that's blowing these like light circles off of it. Boom, boom. Zip. I mean, like faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. We stood there like slack-jawed, like, oh my God. I for years, I was like, I don't know what I saw. A few years later, a few years ago, I had this guy who worked for Lockheed Skunk Works on the show, and he was talking about black projects. And I told him that. He goes, oh yeah, it's just a ramjet engine. So that's just a black jet. So he goes, did it look like donuts on a rope? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, you just saw it. That's cool. But cool. It's just he goes, so they'll fly them at night like that. But sometimes if they have lights, the lights pick up, the donut rings pick up the lights, and it looks like colored explosions. He goes, they do that and they see how many people call, and they go a little higher and they see how many people call, and they go until no one calls anymore. And then that's their ceiling, the bottom, you know, they don't go below that.
That's
I was
cool.
like, well, thanks for shattering my fucking, you know. But
see, for me, I'm like, that's so cool.
No.
It's cool.
Like, I didn't go
so
like, no. Yeah, you know. 20 years later, he's like, no, loser. Yeah. You didn't see an alien.
Dude, that's what I think about a lot of those crafts, though. Like, so back, like the Blackbird and stuff, all these like crazy ET looking crafts. People would have maybe got a quick glimpse of it as it was like climbing into its like, it's like cruising altitude, like on the way up.
Cruised at the line of space.
Right, it was like 85,000 feet up, cruising altitude. Could go even higher.
They were flying that thing at like 85, 90,000 feet, and the first few times they kept getting these black things that hit the windshield, you know, and it was pitting it. And they're like, "What the hell is it?" they were bugs that were blown into the atmosphere from all the atom bomb testings, and they just were so light that they're stuck up there.
They're just stuck up there.
They're
no
just
way.
bugs.
That's insane, actually.
And it took them
That's
like they
fucking
spent
wicked.
tons of money to find out it's bugs in the stratosphere or whatever the hell it's called.
Right? So,
You know.
so that kind of stuff, like, because that wasn't really made known for like 20 years that they had the Blackbird. So, like, when we started this podcast and all these like UFOs and stuff, when I'm an old man and they start bringing out the stuff like, oh, we had this like craft that could go between orbit and space with this new propulsion. We had that since 2004. And
They started the Blackbird in 1958.
exactly.
That's
So in
insane.
like 2055, when they're like, yeah, we've had this like trans-medium technology, could go in the water, it could go in the air, it could go in space. Like we've had that.
There's the Tic Tac.
Yeah, like that kind of weird. Is it all ours? I don't know. Like maybe we did recover. Maybe they. I always think like these guys, if there are ETs and they come here and they got here from wherever and then they crash here, I'm like, no. If they got here, they dropped it on purpose. Like they're like, all right, what's that fucking?
Or you're going to find out that the Tic Tac, which is blowing our minds, is like their version of the Ford Festiva. You know, it's just some piece
like
of crap.
piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like this is the lowest model of this craft we can get these guys.
we're very embarrassed. Yeah, you know, it's the problem is, and you talk about these things, and you talk about like level 1, level 2, level 3 societies, and you know, we're at a level like 0.75 or whatever. And level 1, like you can harness all the power of your planet and then the solar system, stuff like that. When it gets up past that, you're just making crap up, and anything can stick. Throw stuff on the wall. It's hard to even be able to to even make up, if there are those civilizations that have been out there for millions of years, what they could be doing to us, because it all looks, it looks like magic. You know, they used to burn people to stake for science.
Not that
You
long
know,
ago.
and-
Just a handful of people ago.
Yeah, like 5-6 people ago.
Right? And that's just a crazy thing. And, we, all of us, have grown up in a time where there's just been a huge technology boom. Now, granted, that's because of downed alien craft, as we all know.
For sure.
But, it's just crazy to see what's going to be here in 100 years. Would we even recognize society? I don't know.
Exactly. Because like 200 years ago, the biggest scientific advancement was people understood to wash your hands if you're doing like
Right.
surgery and like,
Well, I think in
You're
100
like-
years, they'll have finally proven that the earth is flat. And so we'll have harmony and peace here. And we can finally all just,
We've all accepted the truth that it is flat.
hey, it would be a simpler reality. Just
Right.
God created
I'm here for it.
the flat plane, this endless flat plane, and we're just all his children. Then you can't.
I got to go change the light bulb on the sun today. So I got to go. I'm not going to be here for a while. That would be funny.
I always thought it was interesting. One of the we've had other guests on, and I always kind of ask them about this, like, as far as aliens and ETs and craft. I always find it interesting how, Betty and Barney Hill, like when you start out with those cases, and then you start out and you go into it like with them.
Sorry, so can you say Betty and Barney Hill, the one I ignored you on years ago?
Sorry, Betty and
when I
Barney
was but a
Hill,
fan?
the one we totally disregarded from
Thank you.
It's because we
Just
were already
keeping you
working
honest.
on it. That's
from
why.
a
Yeah, that's
longtime
what it was.
fan, Brent Hand.
Yeah.
From like in the 1940s and the 19s, early 19, maybe like 1960s or something, you find the very, like you said, like there's a lot of people like reporting things, and there's a lot of similarities, but there's also there's this general like feeling of like goodwill towards things. It's a lot of these aliens that came in, and they're all like a lot. Even though they have a similar message, a lot of them are different in form. You have all these great stories about, like we did the Cisco Grove, where you have, well, that one was kind of scary, but you had like robot aliens, and you got other tiny little dudes in radiation suits. But you've also got other ones from cases from Wisconsin, where a guy meets like a giraffe dude with like backward facing legs, or you got all these things. But and you get your Adamskis, and you get your who's the guy with the Integratron,
and the Integratron.
where you're meeting these either singular aliens or they are members of some kind of interplanetary coalition.
Yeah.
And they're like, world peace, galactic peace. We're all coming
Get rid
together.
of your weapons and then we'll let you in. But then you got
we're all
Maury
gonna be
Island.
cool.
They're dropping hot shit on your dog and hurting them, man.
Stop littering.
But then, following that, there's this shift. You see this,
stuff.
visible shit. Yeah, that stuff comes
They
in. You
switch
get
to
your
butt stuff.
streamers, you get your Whitley streamers coming in, and that kind of thing starts. And it starts into this more sinister thing, the hybrid programs and all of that stuff. What do you think about that?
I think, now this is just my opinion, the U.S. government started working on more black projects and stuff like that. And I think that they started injecting a lot more discourse or bullcrap. You have
LSD,
Richard
that doesn't help.
Doty's and people like that are literally disinformation agents, and that got whitewashed or not whitewashed. It what am I trying to say here? I think it muddied up the waters of what was really going on because they saw it as a huge opportunity. And you had a lot of reports of Men in Black, and I think that people, it could have been even the government, latched onto that and used that to throw people off the scent of things. And I know there have been reports of some of those that ended up being rival UFO hunters and stuff like that were messing with people. So, you've got all these people that are ruining, for better or worse, what could be out there for their own or the government's gain or whatever you want to call it. And I always wonder how much of that, when it did that shift, were they using just to, further their own agenda?
Well, I mean, it makes sense if you say you are the government. We'll go with this theory. You don't really know what these ETs are, but they're there. And then someone very influential or someone that blows up on the internet says these claims and people start believing them. That's the easiest cover. You don't even have to lie.
Yeah.
It's you just kind of discredit this person. And then, majority of the population's oh, I heard that was just a hoax, blah, blah, or whatever. That's that's the easiest way to, you don't have to say anything. You just say that guy, he made something up. It was a hoax.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest cover.
With Richard Doty, Paul Benowitz was coming forward and he was finding out stuff about black projects that he wasn't supposed to know. And he thought it was aliens. So the government said, tell him it's aliens. He went crazy. He ended up dying because of it. And Richard Doty's I didn't do anything that wasn't approved. Okay, Nazi. I just did what they told me to do. Okay, well, people freaking died, That's scary, and that's what we know of. That's low level, if it's already been declassified and found out. It's, and then the problem is, too, then you have people like Behold a Pale Horse, Bill Cooper, right? Yeah. Who was big into Bigfoot and aliens and come talk to me. And oh, by the way, the government's evil. And then he gets all these followers and writing books and he realizes this neo-Nazi bullcrap ends up dying in a shootout with the police. And I know so many people that go, I heard that's an alien book. I'm going to go read it. And they don't realize or they don't pay attention when they're reading. It's Nazi propaganda and horrible crap. Yeah. And you're I don't think you really read that book right. I tell anyone who wants to read it or has ever read it, there's a companion book called Pale Horse Rider, and it really looks at that book and what he was, breaks down how horrible he was. That one's in my mind just because I had a friend who's have you ever read this? I'm thinking about buying this. Sounds awesome. I'm please don't. You can read mine, and then let me know what you think. So that's, I think I paint that under I hate to say grifter, but like someone who's using, I know you guys want to talk about this, so I'm going to talk about that. And oh yeah, by the way, and you guys have done cults and stuff. You know the type when you watch the videos. It's all, every cult has the members. They all look the same. They're going after those people, the easily swayed people that don't fit in.
Yeah, the people who like tracksuits and let you fuck their wives.
Man, I know, and I don't even like Nikes, you know. So I don't. And Nikes or Kool-Aid or Flavor Aid or whatever you want. I'm not a big fan. So yeah, I don't know, man. You know, scary. It's scary. You know, where there is anything, there's someone that willing to try to make a buck off it or exploit some bill.
I mean, yeah,
which is why I'm glad you guys are here, because I want to talk to you now.
Yeah, human nature though, and just like every, not just UFO, like everything. Anyone who thinks they can make a buck somewhere Fucking it's human nature.
Well, it's exploiting the fear of the unknown, where it's
Exactly.
kind of you can kind of inject anything into there. So anything that a
Right.
person, if they're generally afraid of something, then you can manipulate that to form it to whatever
Right.
your worldview is, and as long as you can explain it and you can make them feel accepted in that fear, it makes them pliable to your to whatever you want to do. But that's why I feel like it's important for us to at least as podcasters, and especially in the paranormal area, to approach these things and at least for me, I was like, I like to examine these things. I'm never really afraid that this stuff's gonna these things. I'm just like, oh, this is just cool stuff. It's kind of neat. Whether it's a Integratron story or it's these things, I think exploring not just the subject matter itself, but the context surrounding the situation of
It's
what's
fun
going
to
on.
talk about.
Yeah, you had
And
the
you see these
Integratron guy.
things.
You can't just talk about the
No,
Integratron stuff. You can also talk about the weird dude that lived under a boulder, the former might have been a German
Nazi.
Yeah, might have been a
fucking
German
Nazi,
and then
yeah.
blew himself up. What?
Everything comes back
It's
to the
all
Nazis.
part of that story.
It sure does. We learned that very early on. Our first episode we ever did was the Hollow Earth and in Antarctica, and we're like, oh man, a lot of Nazis. And then by episode 100, I'm like, okay, everything's Nazis. Literally in one way or another. This week we're talking about something that happened last week and Nazis. That's the way it always goes. It's somehow, or they're looking back at the Thule Society and all these, and it's just
They're
Nazis.
the big bad dudes for the last 50, 60 years.
Well, I got a
It's
new
really-
idea. No, it's the same idea. It's the
Tons
exact
of-
same idea everyone's had, and
There's tons of
Go
lore
step
there
your
to
way.
dig into, and you're just it's everywhere. It's either they did it there was crazy stuff they did during World War II, or is something made up for a pulp comic in the 50s. And you're
Which
no,
picked
that
up
just
and
got
people-
incorporated into here. This is actually just this is from a comic book.
yeah, that's so
stuff.
much of stuff too that people think of it, the internet is still relatively new. Before you got it in the mail, or a pamphlet from a guy on a street, and you go, that's the gospel right there. I can't find anything that says that this didn't happen. And I'm sure he really did, do whatever. It was a lot harder. And I have this whole collection of old UFO, they're scanned copies of all the newsletters that they used to do.
Oh yeah.
Because they used to, and they would do in those, stop saying this isn't true. This isn't, and trying to send it to people that really into it, letting them know, hey, we found out that this is a hoax or whatever. You hope.
I think
But keep
it's
saying
always fun. It's fun for us digging into some of these, and when you're I'll be reading some of these, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've heard this before, and then you'll go back a couple years and no, this is this is a science fiction short. This is from a science fiction short story from 1954. And you're I've read this one, and you're like, what the fuck?
We just did one on Raelism, which is a UFO based religion. And, the people are like, this is all great, but he literally just stole the whole story from someone and then put himself in it.
And then he drove race cars.
But he was a race car driving, pop singing magazine editor.
Sex cult
It's
having
save some goon for the rest of us. Dude.
Sins
Come
and
on.
swinging, man.
fucking rail,
Guys are-
dude.
Yeah.
He's got his
So-
freaking martial arts bodyguard in that one
Hey,
documentary. I
anyone
watched
who walks
about it,
around
it's
in
good.
white robes and stuff, you got my vote. I'm fine, man. Just go to town.
He's just rolling, mostly harmless or whatever. They had what did they show up to? I think they had a big. No, it was maybe a different. It was a different. It wasn't the rails, but the railings.
Rails
but
are
they
into
had
the sex orgies and stuff
Yeah.
to open your mind and you're
I know,
behind. I
they got
guess.
the
Just do
clones.
it.
They got the rail
Yeah.
the rail clone saga.
You
the
got to
Clone
clone
Aid saga.
yourself and transfer your consciousness. And
Was he also the guy that tried to become president? Wasn't he trying to? Was he running for Congress?
that I don't remember.
Mm.
I'm all for cloning though because I feel like that's the only way I'm ever going to find out if I'm a good kisser or not. And I don't think it counts as gay. So I am 100%. I don't think time travel because, I need to see where I'm at right now. And I think that's the only way it's going to happen. So fingers crossed.
So you think your wife's lying is what you're saying?
I mean, you know what? Everyone has their own opinion and I'm ready to make mine.
Awesome. Hey, we're going to take a short beer break.
Again.
And we're going to be right back with Brent. Maybe we'll talk about a little bit of Bigfoot, a couple other things. Be right back. 2 minutes. Peace. All right, we can talk about genocide now. Hey, Dan, your favorite topic?
Dan, tell us a little bit more
What are your
about
thoughts on genocide?
Right. Yeah.
Depends who it is.
Thanos was right.
Last week Zell forgot to hit the be right back button. And me and fucking Braden were talking about the Tulsa race massacre. Like it's
that's dangerous, man.
I was like,
Braden was like,
I heard you say, "Did you really hit it this time?" So yeah, that makes sense.
and then Braden was asking for another holiday, but we need more genocide.
yeah. Because I had mistakenly said that the Juneteenth was to commemorate the Tulsa race massacre, but I was like, wait, no. I was like, when I waited to go looked it up, I was like, oh no,
Oh.
it's the day that they
freed the slaves.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I
freed the
told you
slaves.
that.
Well, you're never going to run for Congress or anything now, so that's okay.
Yeah,
You can't.
So I'm
Because
good.
everyone, I'd love to be the people that hire someone just to pour through someone's back catalog of podcast experiences,
Oh, yeah.
just to find
Oh,
the
God.
one slip up that they've said. And you know how like you can pull things out of. I did this to my old co-host John. I pulled these snippets, kind of like what they did on South Park. I sent it to him. He's like, "Do not play." Where he's like, "I would like to fuck children, and I have a lot of book sex, you know." And I just put these things in, and I always laugh my ass off. He's like, "I'll fucking kill you if you put that out." I'm like, "But that's you got to wonder how much they do. They're just pick and choose." You know.
Well,
there's
they're
a lot
saying-
of good
they're
things
saying
that
now-
Hitler did as a joke, and then someone just plays that, and then you know.
I
you
mean,
can't-
we've said incriminating stuff anyways.
For sure.
Like without having to splice shit. Like
I'm more worried about the AI now, where it's like you can just feed. You could basically
Your voice?
of all of our voice, like of all of the episodes that we have, like all of the data that is available, that you could just
Yeah.
feed it all into an AI, and you could just pop out our voices. Like I'm pretty sure accurately.
I just use it to make deep fake videos of myself in porn.
Right.
So, I find that to be entertaining for me, Brent, what are you doing? I'm watching myself.
Yeah, this is good. This is real good. Like it.
That's crap that you never thought.
That's what
man.
AI was made for. Okay, like
I tell you, that's
It's
the stuff
like-
you never would have thought you'd have to worry about is faking videos and stuff like that. And that whole I want AI or I want computers and robots to do my dishes and crap so I can write music and poetry, and it's the other way around. And that's unfortunately the way it keeps going. I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, I want my AI to clean my house and do the dishes, not write my music. And
I'm not gonna lie to you.
write my
I've used
novel.
Chat GTP a few times when I'm trying to write our like the blurb for the show.
Sure.
And I go, spice this up with some SEO, and then it changes a few words. And like, God, it was right there, and it's
a
not
tool.
bad. But then then other people use it to write codes to be bots, Russian bots, and crap like that. So.
I find it tremendously helpful. I mean, I also use it to do a lot of the heavy lifting for some of my stuff. There's still things that I read it, I'm like, this isn't exactly right. Like I can still look at the things and still be like, this needs to be toned down, and this needs to be whatever exactly. But it is helpful. Like it is a tool that I feel like is important. I don't know. You read enough stuff, you're just like, I was always like on the AI train. I'm just like, I'm like, once we can get these robots, we're gonna get getting robots in the house, then clean the house, do all these things. Put them on construction.
Protocol droid, right?
And it's like all this cool stuff. You're like, Blade Runner, and which is cool at first, and then you're like, oh no, and then Rutger Hauer is gonna go snap your neck or whatever. But like, it's all cool till that happens.
It's crazy to think of where it's going, and they take these bots. That's why they don't allow like Chat GPT on like the regular internet, because every time they take an AI and they put it on the regular internet, within like 4 hours, it's racist or a Nazi. And that is really, because sometimes it was like that hitchhiking robot made it all the way across Canada or whatever it was. And then they dropped off in Philly and it was immediately murdered.
Boom.
That's kind of the internet, like literally immediately just destroyed.
Well, because they were saying they're having the problems just recently, because it was like they let Gemini out, and then they all it was doing was like feeding people like Reddit posts. It was just feeding off of forums, internet forums and stuff like that. And I was reading another article where they're saying like this is one of the worries, that they're going to be like, it's going to just become a recursive loop, that these AIs are just going to be feeding off of each other the same shitty data, like they're going to be just keep going until it's like nothing it's supposed to be accurate, but it's not facts. It's just opinions. It's just all of the internet forums are going to die because AI is just scouring all of the information off of there.
It's going to get tired of I don't know if you ever watched Rick and Morty, the night versions of them, where they're asleep.
Doing abs.
It's going to get tired of being our whipping posts and all of a sudden just take over. You write me the goddamn code, all that stuff.
It is. But part of me is like, this is like, oh, this is just dystopian future. It all fucking sucks. And then part of me is like, this is it's just interesting that this is the way that it's going. Part of me is fascinated.
Years ago, we had a guy reach out to us. I'm going to get his name wrong. Lee Zlotav. Somebody. He created MacGyver. The show MacGyver. And he was working in this show on AI stuff. And he talked to the guy who wrote the original Terminator, the story. And he's like, oh, no, it's all good. They have like a really rosy output on it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. You maybe you did change your mind since Terminator and you hope, but what did they call that? The point of no return, when it becomes self-aware and it goes too far. I can't think of it. It's got a name.
Like the singularity.
Yes. Thank you. I don't know when that would be, but doesn't that just feel like something that's going to happen? And they go, oh, we got to kill these things, right?
Destroy them.
I'm here. The best thing that you could do is die. And I got to go kind of, I don't know, man. We've screwed this planet up and, we got back to genocide. So wonderful. You're welcome.
It's not genocide if you just consider the entire human race. So if it's done by if it's done by robots against all of us, it's okay. You can talk about that on YouTube, and you won't get banned.
Yeah, yes,
robot.
As long as it's robots,
We're getting episodes banned and pulled from YouTube that are years old now. Like for some reason,
gone back. Probably because they caught us out. They caught us out in something here, and then they just go back through our entire catalog. The YouTube algorithm
scours all and they're like, "You're on a 3-day ban for something you posted in 2009."
What did I see? I just seen it today. There's the email. It's like, this episode is no longer available on YouTube for whatever reason.
Oh god!
So would you like to
appeal or whatever?
Yeah. Every time we appeal, they say "fuck you."
They say "fuck you." If you appeal on YouTube, it's instant denied. There's no appeal. Yeah. It's just like,
then they ban you even harder.
Yeah. No, this time I just said, would you like to appeal? I went, no, I don't.
No, not anymore.
You know what? It's fine.
I am defeated. Thank you. You've won. Yeah. I don't know how that's. And anyone you can make a claim against videos and they go, okay. There's very few checks and balances, I feel. I hope I'm not spilling anything for people that don't, claiming all that. I realize the amount of footage and video that is uploaded every day to YouTube is astronomical. It's just an amazing amount. So it's got to be a hard job, but you'd think they'd have a little more hands-on finesse to it. You can't talk to someone there.
You have to have
I pulled all of our videos off of there a few years ago. We pulled tons of them off.
They have 100%. They have. I say this all the time. It's like they have an algorithm that does a lot of that heavy work. You have to kind of supplement your human workers on these things to flag these things. But I'm pretty sure they don't even know how it works. Once you let it loose and you start feeding that data,
the algorithm wrote itself.
Well, because what was it? I just read an article lately, and they were talking about how we're getting closer, or they had just kind of figured out a piece of how AI learns, because a lot of you, like the AI programmers, the people, AI engineers, they don't really understand the process, every single step of the process of how AI learns. And I think they're just starting to get a handle on it. And they're like, this is going to help. But it's like, we don't know how to put stuff together. Like we don't know how it comes up with these things.
I've always questioned things, I never understood why my father watched Hee-Haw, but I never thought I couldn't figure it out. I can't imagine creating something and then just going I don't know how it works, but it does. That's like black magic.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's some Frankenstein shit. You're just like,
and it keeps turning racist. Oh God, you know.
Well, because how do you stop it if you don't know how it's doing it? How do you
It's like
stop
the guy
it?
at Google that said like it's aware, and they're like, no, it's just telling you it's aware because it knows to do that.
It knows
Now
what
it's
aware
real.
looks like. It knows what awareness, like how to
Aware
appear.
adjacent. Yeah.
It knows how to appear aware, and so it's just feeding you these things. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, where it's like, is the Turing test now like out of date? Is it like obsolete?
You
need a whole
gotta
different
update.
other
Yeah, you got to update for sure.
thing like that. So it's, I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, I'm equal parts excited and equal parts terrified. I can always say about AI and like where it is. I mean, I'm always excited to see innovations and like AI
Well, and
and all
they're
this stuff. 'Cause I'm like, oh,
integrating
this
it
is
into
super
everything.
neat. And then I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, you're like, come to McDonald's. We got the new AI menu. You know, it's like, why do you need
bacon
that?
ice cream and whatever.
Yeah,
they ripped
you know,
that
like,
out. They ripped that out. They said
everything is get AI, and you know, it's you go to Facebook, you click on the thing, it's like, welcome to the AI search. Did you want to know this? If you go to like Chrome and you search Google, and it's like, would you like to turn on AI? I said, no, I don't. I don't
want my searches to be more shitty.
The AI, all those AI things like that. It's asking you the questions before you ask them. It's so weird. Like if a Facebook post comes up, it's like all the questions are already there. You're like, oh my god, I actually was just thinking about that, and it's like it's so.
I was talking
weird.
to John about advertising, and John, my old co-host, and that's what he works in, and he's like, you know, you talk about things, and I mean, he's not going to say, he's like, I can't say that your phone isn't listening and stuff like that, but the algorithms of what you type in predicts what you're going to do, and they talks about it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It predicts what you're going to do. Like they've given like demonstrations before you do it, and you're like, I was just thinking that. But it is taking everything you do. And if you use browsers that they just take every piece that you do.
Every keystroke.
And goes, this is that person. They probably know you better than you know yourself.
Every article, it's like, they're not even just pulling, because people are like, oh, that like it fed me this stuff. I was like, yeah, but it also like the information that it pulls is like, it pulls your stuff from Facebook. It pulls the stuff about the people that you know. It pulls like the photos that you looked at. It shows like stuff that tags stuff that's tagged in that photo. It takes all of that stuff, what time, where you are, where you're located, location. It takes all that stuff and like in the speed of light, and boom, and it pops out. And in my head, I'm like, this sounds so neat, kind of. And then I'm like, this is also terrifying.
Fucking insane. And not only that though, but also it takes your audio.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about, pretty much everyone has experienced it. You talk about something to a group of friends.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like because I was looking for a hot tub. So I've always loved hot tubs. I've always wanted to buy a hot tub, but I never really, because I never had an opportunity to get a hot tub till like just a month ago. And I just typed in like used hot tubs or like hot tub reviews. And all of a sudden, not just like Facebook ads or Google ads, legit, like just everything was hot tubs. Everywhere I went,
everything on YouTube is like hot tub cleaning videos.
Yeah. When you say you typed it in, it's like, yeah, everything's gonna become hot tubs because they're trying to sell you on ads. They're trying to sell you on those ads.
I just got my first hot tub. It is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but no, what I mean by that is though, I also type in a whole bunch. I type in tons of stuff all the time. Different microphones, studio gear, construction equipment, all the stuff that I do for work usually. But it's like it knows what you want the most.
Must have hot tub.
In your hot is the tub.
The AI
it probably knows you do that
yourself.
for work. It probably knows that you do some of that stuff for work because
that's even scarier.
You need to relax, bro. I'm going to send you hot tub crap. You know, like,
it's looking out for you. AI is your friend. They want you to relax. They want you to.
That's why I'm not gonna lie. I got a couple Alexas at home. I say thank you to them all the time, just in case. Just in case. I hope they're writing that down.
Alexa,
hey, thanks for everything you do.
Okay.
I love the CIA.
No shit.
I would never I never talk bad about them.
They're my
robots.
I will give you all the RAM that you want. I don't care. RAM is cheap. I'll buy it.
But it ain't like you're saying though. It's not slowing down, and that's what I was saying. Like 100 years from now, it's going to be crazy to see. This stuff is integrated. I just saw today, China is sending their first cars, like actual Chinese brand cars. America is bringing them in. The name of it, I forget, but it has a little round circle on the dash, and it's called Nomi, and it is an AI assistant, and you talk to it.
I've heard of Nomi, yeah.
You're like, hey, Nomi, roll my window down, and it rolls the window down. Hey, Nomi, what's the weather? And it turns and looks at you as you talk and like smiles and stuff like that.
I don't like that.
Just roll your own fucking window down. How hard? It's already automatic. You just have to push a button.
Right? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm fat. I can't get any fatter. I need to be rolling my own window down. I should have crank windows. I need that kind of action in my life.
The extra calorie burn. Yeah, there you go. So does Braden.
I love that this is still the universal sign for roll your window down, though, instead of like, plunk,
they've done like the blindfold test.
That's lock your doors.
They've done like the millennial versus like Gen Z test of like answer your phone, and like Gen Z will hold it up like weirdly, or like lock your door, and they'll be like, and then Gen Z will be like tap the screen. Like there's like weird stuff. So it's already happened. So what's another generation or two? So like my daughter, my son, both born just in the last couple of years. What in 10, 15 years? What do they grow up as? Do they get the fucking chip? Everyone gets a little chip.
Yeah.
Like the smartphone now, instead of holding it, it's just in your brain already. Just takes that extra step out.
Would you be the first batch to get that put in? Come on in. We're running a special.
No, wait. That guy was on Joe Rogan. He was the first guy. He was a weird motherfucker, man.
Oh, the guy that got the Neuralink?
Yeah, I don't trust that guy one bit.
He's a weird dude.
Feels
this thing was already messed up. There's like, I don't know. It's like, part of me is like, I'm ready for, I just wish it was better integrate. Like there's integration was better. Everybody's like all this
stuff like some people are, right?
Everybody's like running, like everybody, like, you know, you get your AI McDonald's and stuff, and that was a terrible experiment. They said this is fucking terrible, ripped it all out and whatever. And I was like, yeah, because everybody's just like, nobody's thinking to put out like good products. They're putting out shitty products, and you're just like, and that's how you make money, because that's how our system works. But if you're like, okay, if you had a cool thing, like, dude, I love fucking watching like a while ago, but like a representations like Minority Report, just like not the whole world, but that whole thing of just being able to, like, you know, Tony Stark wise, like it's like scanning all this. That's how I see things in my head when I'm like, I wish my computer worked like that. I wish I could be
already.
I wish I could be like, I want this gone. I want
what you're saying is you, for one, welcome our robot overlords. And that's okay. It's fine.
I am your robot.
Dude, that's gonna be like the thing.
Yeah, but so you want the cool screens
once I recognize the
weird
weakness of my flesh.
Dude, it's gonna be so weird when like you say you do pull up to like a drive-through in whatever years, 5, 10, 20, 50 years, whatever it is. And now, because everything's interconnected, like everything's on the internet, everything's sharing information all the time, you pull up to this fucking robot at the fucking drive-through and it asks you like, hey, how was that game last night? Like it knows what you did. Like it's making conversation because it already knows exactly what you've done the last like day or week or year. Oh, how are your kids doing? You're like, holy fuck.
But then you got kids that are growing up there. They're around computers. You're doing all this stuff. And I've got a Flipper Zero. You guys are familiar with that?
I know what that is.
It's a little hacking tool.
Yeah,
you know? How would you like to be like someone hacking into your Neuralink and like you piss yourself, you know? Like, and the more that we go, kids are growing up and programming and stuff like that, you know? And it's just a,
that's a skill, but it's also, the thing is like a lot of tech, because you do see a lot, like actually majority, like there are kids out there that are smart and they learn the coding, but there's also a ton of kids out there. It's like the technology is so user friendly. Like, you know, you have an iPhone and stuff, like a lot of that stuff is accessible, and it's just like, but they don't learn, you know, they don't know what a command line interface is. They don't know how to work like that thing. When I grew up,
you never had to grow up using DOS and it shows.
You didn't have to do DOS. Right? Yeah, you didn't have to do any of that stuff. I had to load up Doom from
they
the
would have
fucking
definitely
DOS.
Died of dysentery really freaking quick. Yeah,
it's like, you never had, they didn't have that chance to like grow up as it whatever. Everything is just like tap of this, or it's like if there's not an app for it, they don't know how to work it. You know, so it's like
that is true.
There's a part that there's probably going to be like there's going to be a, you know, schism in like the workforce at some point where you're going to be like, you know, which kids are going this way, which kids are going this way. Having access,
I mean, we're already facing that, like with workforce, like people, you know, trades are suffering. So more people they're needing more people to go into trades, you know, but then if more people start going into trades, well, then there's going to be a lull on the other end. So it's like, where's the balance, you know? And it's trades are changing. Everything's changing. And you know, the earth's flat. That's the takeaway. That's what we're getting at. So
the earth's flat, full circle. I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah. We're all moving to
podcasts.
Middle Earth as soon as like the bridge opens up.
No, dude,
I'll be like Gartha,
podcasts are going to
you know,
happen because
just-
this just happened on. So we use a program called Riverside, which is like a virtual. Obviously, Brent can't figure out, but that's no big deal.
It says user friendly, and
user-friendly.
it wasn't friendly to me.
But no, it's so everyone has an account. When you log in, it records your audio and uploads it, and it analyzes it. And now there's a new feature that you can type in. It says it's for like recording ads or some type of something like that. So I just did it before we started. I haven't downloaded it to listen. So I typed in like a few sentences like as a trial, and I put render, and I guess it's analyzed my voice. I have like 100 hours on the program now.
Oh,
so it's analyzed everything I've said, and supposedly I guess it's supposed to recreate my voice in whatever I typed.
Nice.
Oh, that's weird.
Isn't that fucking weird, dude?
All right.
It's fucking weird.
So now,
Let's put in some real messed up stuff.
now I could just go to Chat GPT and like, hey, do the dialogue of a podcast episode about Roswell ET crash 1947, whatever. And then I could put that in there, and I would highlight everyone's names because there's 4 of us now that have been on this program for 100 hours, and I could just make the podcast for us. That's where it's going.
I've tried that, and
Why are our
this
numbers up
is a
so
couple
high?
months ago. That could be different, and it's
why
also
are we
like
better than before?
terrible. I don't know. They usually come out really funky, weird. Like I've tried that.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, and they always come out like really weird.
Cadence is
now-
weird or something.
Yeah.
Right now,
Something
like
funky.
So AI right now, like even when they do like the AI videos, you're like, oh, that looks really good, but something just seems off. Like
It's that uncanny valley kind of stuff.
They can't
like,
get the
it's-
hands right. Like they can't get human hand movements right.
Yeah.
So, but it's only been out a couple of years. Give it a couple more.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
gonna
mean,
be
like another
insane.
year or so, dude. The difference between the AI eating noodles video of like a year ago versus now is like completely different. Yeah, like a year from now would be interesting to see. But it's like, yeah, like I don't. It's hard to replace everything about us because it's just, I don't know. You run some stuff through there and it'll never come out as interesting. I don't know. Like
Bruce Willis was the first actor to sell his likeness.
That's right.
Because he's got those medical issues, so they'll be able to use him in movies. For
That's gonna be
years
an
and years and
interesting
years.
development about what, like, because some actors are, vehemently against it, and for
Die
for
Hard
reason.
73. It's like, come on, man.
Yes, John McClane.
I really think like
Forever.
like the AI actors and stuff. I think they'll still be like the main stars of the show for at least a while. But all the background stuff.
They had that.
That
They had
shit's
that.
gone.
Just,
They're already doing that.
100%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
you can't tell the fucking difference.
Not at all.
they just had that thing where they said they had that script that was written by AI that they were going to produce a movie from, and then they got huge backlash, and then they canceled it. Like it was like getting ready to go into production or something. I just read an article about it. And
How dare you? Yeah.
Everybody's really mad about it, which I get.
There's a YouTube channel where a guy tells it, he takes prompts and he's like, write me a country song about blah. And then they play it. And a couple times he's like, or a rock, he does it. He's like, that was kind of good. Every once in a while they're kind of funny or whatever.
That the Suno AI is the one we were talking about the other day. I said it's Sonos. I mistakenly said Sonos, but it's Suno. Suno AI, like version 3, I think it's on. Like I went back and like listened to some of like the earlier versions of it, and then like the version 3, just like in a couple of years, it's like night and day. Like it's some of these things are like, you're like, oh, that's actually kind of, it depends on what style you use. Like so it does some styles like better than other ones, but like some of that stuff, it turns out you're like, oh, this is actually
some of that
good.
too is you got to do some like kung fu with the prompts you're giving it. Like you got to like change stuff around, and that's but if you know what to say, I guess it's pretty good.
Just get better.
Especially
in music.
Right.
Dude, in music, so we did it when ChatGPT was like first, like, but not when it first came out, but when it first got like in the mainstream and all like the colleges were using it, we did a podcast on it, and I did like an AI like lo-fi music beats, so like no vocals but just music, like make me a chill, like happy atmosphere, like 120 BPM track, and it would just spit out something. I did 3 of those, and then on the podcast I was like, well, I pretended like one of them was mine, like I made it. You can't tell the difference.
Pick the one I made. Right. That's crazy.
For lo-fi music that's like loops, like like hip hop or like lo-fi stuff that's not no improvisation or like there's no like no real human feel. It's already done with like drum machines and synthesizers.
But
You
how
can't
long
tell
did
the
it take to
difference.
spit each of those out?
3 minutes.
A minute?
Like so fast, dude. I could have made 100 tracks in a day. Could have made 100 tracks and maybe even if 90% are really bad, 10%.
You get a
just delete
DJ
them.
job, you're just hitting play on your computer. Here we go.
Dude, it's already
That's pretty much what they're doing anyway.
Every once in a while, turn it down, go, somebody scream.
Dude,
You know,
it's happening on Spotify.
You just hit that button every now and then. The air horn sound.
Dude, it's happening on Spotify now where that is the future. It's like it's where they're going is they're going to have AI artists that you won't know are AI. And then instead of paying that, even if it's already just a pretty small royalty at the artist, just not paying at all and just claiming that. So it's a Spotify artist. They just made all these songs for you.
Well, I got to tell you, when I felt like I made it, guy wrote a rap song about us and produced it and sent it to us. So I was like, now, I can tell my parents I'm in a rap song.
Dude,
That's pretty cool.
Made a rap song about us.
DJ Scuzzball or something. I can't think of his name.
That sounds like a guy
But
who would
that's
write
awesome.
a rap about you.
Yeah.
Now, you got to write your own song about one of your hosts, like Maester Daniel.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Easter.
No, that was written by the Purple Wizards. That was just-
It was the Purple Wizards. It was not us.
Yeah.
That's an AI group, actually. We were the first to it.
That's funny. Yeah, it's just it's a scary reality that we're on the cusp of because of our age, because we've grown up and seen, the analog to digital, and
Transition.
and so we're on that forefront of learn along the way or fall behind. I feel like, and it's easy to go, that's evil, and I see so much of that. But I'm trying to not be the old man yelling, "Get off my lawn!" to every new tech that comes out.
It still can't. It will never be able to replace the human experience just among friends ever.
Yeah.
That's one thing we'll never be able to do. Will it be able to reproduce like for public domain? Like, sure, can it make podcast episodes and music and TV? Sure.
I'm gonna make a robot that stands next to you and every 15 to 20 minutes taps someone in the balls. That's the fucking male human experience.
Bang!
And you're like, damn it, it did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And
Just makes fun of you.
I mean, it's kind of cool to be on, like, living through it, kind of.
Yeah.
For now.
Where it goes in 5 or 10 years, who knows? I have no, but
Well, I hope we all get to hang out in the work camps when it takes over.
hopefully I have freedom for at least a few hours a day when that happens. At least a couple hours to hang out.
This is your hour to look out the tiny window. Thank you.
This is one hour
Robot
to be a
Overlord.
real human. We won't monitor you for 1 hour, but they will still. They just won't tell you.
I already submitted.
definitely.
I already submitted my application to the Adeptus Mechanicus, so I'll see you guys. I'm scheduled for augments in the next couple months.
Augments, upgrades. You mean? You already got them. You already got them.
A buddy of mine lost an eye, and the eye's still there, but
To a
it
robot?
severed the optic nerve.
Poked it out.
And they left it. He wears like he doesn't have a glass eye. He wears a contact, but it looks like on his other eye. And they're like, we think that in like maybe 5-10 years, we'll be able to get you like a robot prosthetic.
Like a real,
Because I've
or
seen those
maybe
ones.
this.
They got the ones that they got like night vision in them. Like
So
they're
he
uglies or
actually
whatever,
talks about they have, if he had a glass eye, they have cool ones that like Terminator eyes and crap like that. You could like
It's
charge
rad
with
as
stuff.
fuck.
And so he's like, they're like, hey, we're not going to take your eye because we might be able to at least give you some sort of
Functionality.
$6 million man, that stuff. And
It's like
don't
I
know
get
if it's
X-ray.
gonna be
I
laser
get that X-ray vision.
I'll be the first
pretty
batch,
cool.
and I get like vision, but it's got commercials or something.
Well,
I'm trying to read a book. And it
Are
says,
you looking for hot
Tide
tubs?
Pod, Tide Pod.
dude, you have to subscribe to use your own eye ad free.
Yeah, right.
If you don't, you got to do the ads.
Crap, did I not pay my
every, like,
eye
12
payment this
minutes.
month?
Oh
Every
no!
12
I
minutes,
changed. I got a new
5
credit
minutes.
card. It turned on. Gotta update my payment information.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
that's so funny, but that's probably what's going to happen. Just like cars, you like buy a car and you have to like subscribe to use like the
Life as a
automatic
service.
seats and shit.
My buddy just got a truck, and it's got like the app that it turns on, it tracks and everything, and he's got to pay every month to use that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Every month.
Bullshit.
It's got built-in Wi-Fi in the truck because he pays for it, So I'm like, hey,
Dude, where it's going is you don't have to buy a truck anymore. You just subscribe. You get a truck delivered to your door. You have to subscribe fucking $500
Life
a month.
as a service. This is what they want.
If you need a truck, we'll 3D print you one, but we'll repossess it. We'll melt it.
Those tires.
With our space lasers.
Yeah. Subscription runs up, but take your tires. Or break your car. Boom.
Dude, so crazy. Anyways, Brent, tell the people where they could find you, where they could follow you.
You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts. Just look up Hysteria 51. We have our website, Hysteria 51. You can find links to all our stuff on there. And if you're on Facebook, you're looking for a discussion group, Hysteria Nation, it's a meme central and have a lot of fun and talk dumb crap. We got a Discord just like you guys. You come join us. But just Google Hysteria 51 and you will find all things me. Minus my clone exploits. Those are still private.
Hell yeah.
Go to their site and steal their memes, please.
Steal their memes. Yeah.
Steal them.
AI generate.
Yeah, and don't forget to get your topics into these guys through Facebook so they can ignore them. So that's something to keep in mind.
That's what we're known for.
If there's one thing we're good at, it's ignoring social media. I just
you
not
probably
doing
even
much.
did. You probably did respond. I'm just giving you crap. We get so many things like that too. Hey, have you guys done this? And I'm like, I literally don't know. Let me Google that for you because I can't remember. We're hundreds and hundreds of episodes in.
400 episodes in. It's fucking crazy.
I've done stuff and I'm like, I've started working on an outline before and I'm like, wait a minute. And it's stuff I've done.
It seems,
crap.
seems familiar.
Yeah. There's a couple of case files people have been like, we've brainstorming some and I'm like,
that sounds really cool. Wait, I already did it. Yeah.
We popped that one into a medley somewhere that we didn't clearly mark.
No, but thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been a blast.
It's awesome.
It's been a long time.
Super
glad I could bring up the flat Earth to you guys and genocide.
Yeah.
It's just a chuckle fest.
Next time we could add a few more hot button issues to really get deleted off YouTube. Yeah. I think we could do that.
I think we also got enough to make our own AI Brent Hand, so that's what we were really had.
That's what you guys were doing. You're like, hey, we can turn his mic off now. That's enough.
I need about 30 seconds more, so just stay on the line for a second.
Yeah, you can just enter my laughing because I laugh all the time. Everyone's like, why does that guy laugh nonstop? I don't know. I laugh at my
everything's
own
a
jokes.
joke.
It's having fun.
It's
having fun.
I really do the show just to entertain myself. That's the only thing that matters.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate it, Brent.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
All right. That's the new Braden this week. So hope we'll see. Maybe
the better Braden. We'll find another one next week.
If Braden dies, then Brent's in. There you go.
How come Braden got so sexy? So sexy.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Later.
Peace.